Welcome, everyone, to Senior Care Insights. This is your channel for really digging into senior health and well-being. Today, you're basically sitting in on a chat between two experts, lots of experience in geriatric health psychology. We're going deep on what good health and, longevity really look like for folks over 70. Forget wading through endless articles. We're distilling it all down for you right here.
It's great to be here. As we get older, our whole idea of what healthy means kind of shifts, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Becomes less about maybe chasing youth and more about nurturing vitality,
Yeah,
keeping that independence.
totally agree. So let's jump right in with something really core. Mobility, physical health. One thing that keeps popping up is just walking,
Yeah.
simple walking. For many people over 70, hitting around, say, 6,000 steps a day seems to be a pretty good sign of health.
That's a really helpful benchmark, yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely highlights how beneficial regular movement is. And this is really crucial, abilities vary so much.
Yeah.
What's easy for one person is a real achievement for another. So the takeaway isn't really that exact number.
Right.
It's more about finding what's sustainable for you. Consistency. Even like little bits of movement add up.
That's such a key point, finding your own sustainable rhythm. Now, it's not just the number of steps, is it? The actual speed we walk seems to matter, too. There's talk about a steady, brisk pace being linked to, well, living longer.
Exactly. A good brisk walk often reflects decent muscle strength, a healthy heart, good circulation, even brain function.
Huh, really? Brain function, too?
Yeah, think about it. Walking needs coordination,
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
It engages a lot of systems. So if someone's pace noticeably slows down, it could be a subtle flag. Maybe something underlying needs looking at. The research on that is quite compelling.
It's like our body's constantly giving us these little signals. Speaking of signals, what about leg strength and balance? That test, standing on one leg for about 10 seconds, keeps coming up as surprisingly revealing.
Oh, that one. Yes, it's quite a potent little test. Being able to hold that single leg stance, it says a lot about your coordination, leg muscle strength,
Right.
and yeah, even the brain areas controlling balance.
Right.
And for those who find it tricky, well, the risk of falls goes up, which can be really serious, leading to injuries. And some studies even link poorer balance with a higher risk of cognitive decline down the line. It really shows how connected everything is.
That mind-body connection, again, so important. And it makes you think about things we just take for granted, like grip strength. Seems odd, but apparently a firm handshake can tell us something about vitality as we age.
That's right. It sounds simple, but a good firm grip can indicate stronger muscles generally, good circulation, a nervous system that's, working well.
Okay.
On the flip side, if someone's grip is weakening, it might suggest muscle loss sarcopenia, which is a big part of frailty. It can impact independence quite a bit. Think of it like a proxy measure for overall muscle health, which we know is a key factor for longevity and staying independent. It's surprisingly useful.
So those little things, like squeezing a stress ball or using those hand gripper things, they might be doing more good than we think.
Exactly. It's not just about hand strength. It contributes to overall muscle tone, helps with daily tasks, independence again, and really tying this all together is regular, moderate exercise.
Right.
It's not, suddenly deciding to run a marathon at 75.
Yeah.
It's finding activities you actually enjoy and can stick with, things that suit your abilities now.
Yeah, we always hear about walking, swimming, maybe yoga or Tai Chi being good options. And the emphasis always seems to be consistency over killing yourself, right?
Precisely. Consistency is king here. And it's also smart to think about when you exercise. Maybe avoid really strenuous stuff right before bed, or going out in the freezing cold early morning without warming up properly, or right after a huge meal. Just common sense, really.
Good points.
And even, some lightweight training or just bodyweight exercises. That can make a real difference for maintaining muscle mass and bone density. Super important as we age.
Okay, let's pivot a bit. Another huge piece of the puzzle. Sleep. It feels like getting quality sleep becomes even more critical as we get older.
Oh, absolutely critical. Quality sleep, usually around, say, 7 to 8 hours for many over 70 is vital. It's when your body recovers physically, cells regenerate, memories get consolidated, your immune system gets strengthened. And when sleep is consistently poor, well, the risk for memory issues, heart problems, a weaker immune system, it all tends to go up. It's really foundational.
And it's definitely something a lot of older adults struggle with, isn't it? Trouble falling asleep, waking up a lot.
It is quite common, yes. There can be natural changes, like in melatonin production affecting our sleep cycles.
Yeah.
But also underlying medical conditions can play a role, or even just daily habits. That's why good sleep hygiene is so important.
Right, like trying to stick to a regular bedtime and wake-up time, making sure the bedroom is dark, quiet, cool, and being careful with caffeine or alcohol, especially later in the day.
All excellent points. Spot on. And maybe avoiding really big meals just before bed. Some people find relaxation techniques helpful too. A bit of light stretching, maybe meditation, just winding down.
Now, I saw something interesting that maybe aiming for exactly 8 hours isn't the magic bullet for everyone, and that maybe even sleeping too much could potentially be an issue for some older adults.
That's a really good point, and it highlights the nuance here. Research does suggest that for some people in this age group, maybe 6 or 7 hours of good quality sleep might actually be optimal.
Sure.
And yes, consistently sleeping for excessively long periods could sometimes be a sign of an underlying issue, or maybe just lower physical activity levels. It really comes back to paying attention to your own body's needs.
And we should probably be aware of medical conditions that can mess with sleep, right? Things like breathing issues, maybe heart problems, endocrine stuff like diabetes, even depression or anxiety.
Absolutely. If sleep disturbances are persistent and significant, it's always worth chatting with a doctor. They can help figure out if there's an underlying medical reason that needs addressing. Fixing that can often really improve sleep.
Okay, good advice. Let's move on to nutrition. No surprise that diet is crucial. But what are some specifics particularly important for the over 70 crowd?
Well, the basics still apply. A balanced diet, lots of variety of vegetables, fruits, getting enough vitamins, minerals, fiber that helps cut the risk of chronic diseases.
Standard good advice.
But yes, some things become even more key. Calcium and vitamin D, definitely.
Yeah.
Crucial for bone health, preventing osteoporosis.
Mm.
And being mindful of salt and sugar intake is important too, for managing blood pressure and blood sugar.
And hydration. You mentioned fluids earlier. Seems like aiming for maybe 2 to 3 liters of water a day is often recommended.
Absolutely. Hydration is vital for, well, pretty much everything. And sometimes our sense of thirst can actually decrease as we age, so you kind of have to be proactive about drinking enough throughout the day. Don't wait until you feel really thirsty.
That's a good tip. And what about digestibility? I saw a point about choosing foods that are easier to digest.
Yeah, that makes sense because our digestive function can change a bit with age. It might slow down. So choosing foods that are maybe softer, easier to break down. Think well-cooked vegetables, soups, lean proteins that can help ensure you're still getting the nutrients without, overtaxing your system.
Smaller meals more often might help too.
Exactly. Smaller, more frequent meals can sometimes be easier to manage than 3 large ones.
Okay, here's one I hadn't really connected before.
Yeah.
Appetite itself. Having a healthy appetite as an indicator of well-being.
That's actually a very astute point. A good, consistent appetite often means things are ticking along nicely, physiologically. A sudden loss of appetite or a big shift to really poor eating habits. That can sometimes be an early warning sign, might indicate an underlying health issue brewing.
Interesting.
So focusing on nutrient-dense whole foods, getting enough protein, fiber, healthy fats, that helps maintain a healthy appetite and supports overall vitality.
Right, all connects. Now let's talk about something maybe less tangible but just as vital. Mental and emotional well-being. It sounds like having a positive attitude, managing stress. These things genuinely impact physical health and longevity.
Oh, the impact is profound. We know chronic stress can actually suppress the immune system.
Wow.
Yeah, and increase the risk for all sorts of diseases. So cultivating a positive outlook, finding healthy ways to cope with stress, it's incredibly valuable for both physical and mental health long term.
And social connection comes up again and again, staying connected with family, friends, community activities. That seems really protective against depression and loneliness.
Absolutely. Strong social ties act like a buffer. We now understand loneliness isn't just sad, it's actively harmful to health. Some studies suggest it can shorten lifespan by, believe it or not, maybe 3 to 5 years. Increases risk for heart disease, cognitive decline. It's serious.
3 to 5 years, really, that's significant.
It really is. So making an effort to maintain those connections is vital.
And it's also about finding joy, right? Hobbies, interests. Keeping the mind engaged helps prevent feeling empty or isolated.
Precisely. Engaging in things you enjoy isn't just a pastime. It gives mental stimulation, a sense of purpose, fulfillment, all crucial for overall well-being.
So those stress management tips, mindfulness, exercise, deep breathing, staying social, hobbies, they all kind of feed into each other.
They absolutely do. It creates a positive feedback loop supporting mental and physical health. And don't forget just keeping the mind active. Reading, maybe playing chess or other games, learning something new like a language or instrument that helps maintain cognitive function.
That leads perfectly into the next area, social engagement, and, importantly, independence. It's clear being connected isn't just nice, it's fundamental for health.
The science on this is really solid now. Strong social relationships are consistently linked to living longer and better mental health. And conversely, loneliness and isolation, high risks of heart disease, depression, cognitive decline, even dying earlier. So nurturing those bonds, family, friends, community groups, maybe making new friends, it's a protective factor.
And what about the practical side? Feeling financially secure, having a safe place to live? How does that impact well-being and independence?
Oh, hugely. Financial security reduces a major source of stress, doesn't it? It gives you a sense of control, allows you to make choices that support your health, and having a secure, comfortable home base, that contributes massively to peace of mind and your ability to stay independent for longer.
Makes total sense. Okay, a really practical point now. Regular health checkups. Seems obvious, but maybe even more crucial after 70?
Undeniably crucial. Routine checkups are your best bet for catching any potential health issues early. Early detection means timely treatment, which can make a massive difference to longevity and quality of life. That general advice may be every 6 months to a year to check things like blood pressure, blood sugar, organ function. It's very sound advice.
And I guess for people already managing chronic conditions, sticking to treatment plans and monitoring becomes even more vital.
Exactly. Consistent management is key to preventing complications and maintaining the best possible quality of life despite the condition.
Okay, nearly there. Finally, lifestyle choices. It might seem basic, but we have to mention avoiding smoking and excessive alcohol.
We absolutely have to. It really can't be stressed enough. Avoiding smoking, limiting alcohol significantly, these are paramount for reducing the risk of so many serious diseases. It dramatically improves your odds of a longer, healthier life.
So bringing it all together, it really feels like health and longevity after 70 isn't about one magic bullet. It's holistic. It touches everything.
That's exactly it. It's a multifaceted approach. Physical activity, quality sleep, good nutrition, mental and social well-being, regular medical care, positive lifestyle choices, they all intertwine.
And the encouraging thing seems to be that you don't have to make huge, drastic changes all at once. Even small, consistent efforts in these different areas can really add up, make a real difference to quality of life, not just lifespan.
Absolutely. And it's truly never too late to start making positive changes. Every little step you take towards these goals contributes to a healthier, more fulfilling later life.
This has been incredibly insightful. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise today. It really gives us all food for thought for ourselves and maybe older relatives too.
My pleasure entirely. It's such an important conversation to keep having.
So just to wrap up what we've covered, staying healthy and living well after 70 is really about balance. It's keeping active in ways that work for you, getting good sleep, eating well, nurturing your mind and social life, getting those checkups, and making smart choices about things like smoking and alcohol. And remember, even small, steady steps count. They add up to better quality of life, better longevity. We really hope you'll think about these points, maybe see what small steps you could take. If you found this deep dive helpful, please do give the video a thumbs up, maybe share it with someone who'd find it useful, and leave us a comment below your thoughts, any questions you might have. We love hearing from you. And definitely, please subscribe to Senior Care Insights for more discussions like this on senior health and psychology. We look forward to seeing you in our next Deep Dive.